Now we are going to discuss again uh, some questions which are important for our prelims examination. So because of we are going to find out the prelims first. So starting now. Okay. So question number 1 is, who among the following associated with Deoband movement in India? So it's a Muhammad Qasim Nanavati is the Deoband movement. So Deoband movement was organized by the Orthodox section among Muslim ulema, and its objective propagating the teaching of Quran and Hadith. Deoband movement was established in Sharanpur, and it's Muhammad Nanavi and Gangohi. Rashid Gangohi was the religious leader of Muslim community. So Aligarh movement was the aim at the welfare of the Muslim and through the education support British government, and aim to Deoband movement was moral and religious generation of the Muslim community. Instruction imparted Deoband was in original Islamic, and it's a Deoband school formation of Indian National Congress and Syed Ahmad Khan. Next is, with reference to the fundamental right of to freedom, consider the following. Article 19 Constitution is the right to move inside the country, and movement is not for that. So A is wrong. And the Constitution of India provides the right of outsider to reside, settle tribal areas restricted to protect the distinctive culture, language, and schedule, safeguard their traditional, vocational, and property against exploitation. So freedom of movement is the Article 19 Constitution of India, and it entitle every citizen to move. It's a right to move inside country and right to come back the country. So okay, so it's given every citizen. Okay, it's given the every citizen. So here is the constitution is every citizen to move freely, and he can move freely from one state to another, one place to another, and the right underline the idea that India is the one unit. Citizens are concerned. Thus, the purpose is to promote national feeling and not parochialism. So it's here is given the parochialism. So it's not for the parochialism. Okay. And the ground imposing the reasonable restriction on the freedom are two, namely the interest of general public and protection interest of the scheduled tribes. So entry of the outsider in tribal area restricted to protect the distinctive culture. So B is right. And custom and manner of scheduled tribes and safeguard their traditional vocational property against exploitation. Freedom of movement has two dimensions, internal and external. So it's 19 protect only the first dimension, like internal, not external. Right to move out of the country is not there. Okay, and Article 21 right to life is personal liberty. On freedom of residence, every citizen has to right to reside, settle in any part of the territory. And right has two parts: the right to reside in any part of the country, which means to stay at any place, and settle in any part, which means to set up domicile at a place of permanently. State can impose reasonable restriction of the exercise of these rights on two grounds, namely interest of general public, scheduled tribe, language, culture, custom, manner, scheduled tribes, and safeguard their traditional vocational property against many of the countries. The tribals have been permitted to regulate their property rights according to the customary law. Next one is the Finance Commission. It makes recommendation regarding the distribution of net proceed, and it makes recommendation regarding the principle that should govern the grant in aid to the state of the out of the contingency fund of India. Out of the contingency fund of India, it's not given there, but A is there. So Article 21, 280 of the Constitution provides the Finance Commission. It's a quasi-judicial body. The distribution of net proceed and shared between the center state allocation of between states respectively. Principle should be grant in aid, state, center, consolidated fund of India, and the measure of the needed to augment the consolidated fund, state supplement resources, panchayat, municipalities, and any of the matter referred to the president in interest of the sound finance. So it's a commission submit report to the president and parliament along the explanatory memorandum as to action taken in the recommendation. Next one is, which of the following is correct regarding small finance bank? So minimum paid up capital is 100 crore. That's true. And it can issue credit card, can't issue. It cannot accept time deposits. It can accept time deposit also. So the small finance bank is the financial institutions finance service the country underserved unbanked area. Under the Companies Act, their banks like other commercial bank can engage in all basic banking activities such as issuing credit card, lending, accepting time deposit, and such as fixed deposit and recurring deposit also. And it's cannot issue, such as issuing the credit card. So it can issue a credit card. So B is the answer, sorry, not A, B is the answer. So it can issue credit card also, that is the NBFC which cannot issue the credit card. Okay, and it cannot accept time deposit, but it accept time deposit also. Small finance bank are established with the goal of increasing the financial inclusion, providing saving vehicle, and providing credit to small businesses and micro small industry and unorganized sector. BCG is the primarily used against the tuberculosis. So the Bacillus calmette-guerin is a vaccine for tuberculosis disease, is used in many countries with a high prevalence of TB to prevent childhood tuberculosis and meningitis and miliary disease. So its only licensed vaccine available to the TB children, provides a strong protection against the severe TB. This protective effects is far more variable in adolescent and adults in 0 to 18. Pashmina shawl are made with of the wool obtained from is a Changtang goats. So Changtang goats are there. So the Pashmina shawl is the animal fiber as Kashmir drained from the Changtang Ladakh. It's a well-known warmth and lightweight and softness characteristic dye absorbing. As Pashmina is the accredited the Guinness Book of World Records, and it's the reason of being world renowned. Diameter each Kashmiri thread. So it's a human hair average diameter 15 microns, and that make Kashmiri fiber equal to the 1/4 of human hair. Now next one is construction of irrigation well require ecological clearance by the Irrigation and Public Health Department. Around 70% of food production in India done with the help of irrigation well. So 2 is right. But the construction of irrigation well require the ecological clearance by the Irrigation and Public Health Department of respective state government. It's not true. So irrigation is the minor canal from the Indian river, groundwater well-based system, tank and other rainwater harvesting project for the agriculture activity. Around 70% food production is irrigation well. UNESCO World Water Development reports India is the largest extractor of groundwater. So World Water reports is there. So India is the largest extractor of groundwater, and the Uttar Pradesh has the largest area under well irrigation, which account for around 28% of the well irrigated area of the India, and this is the Rajasthan, Punjab, Madhya Pradesh, Gujarat, Andhra Pradesh and Karnataka. So India as a construction of irrigation well does not require any clearance, and no records are maintained or abandoned well. So conservation of groundwater role of the women and is crucial in bringing about the significant change. So there is the B. 70% of the food production is India done with the help of the irrigation well, and construction of irrigation well require ecological clearance by the Irrigation and Public Health Department of respective state government. It's not true. There is a central government is there. So groundwater well based, it's a larger area and irrigation which account for 28%. And Rajasthan, Punjab, first of all Rajasthan, then Punjab, then Madhya Pradesh, then Gujarat, then Bihar, then Andhra Pradesh. So Rajasthan is first, and then is Punjab, then is Madhya Pradesh. Okay, so it's a India construction irrigation well does not require any clearance, and no record are maintained abandoned well. So first question is there, clearance by the Irrigation and Public Health Department, that's not required. Okay, now next one is with reference to the loan guarantee scheme for the COVID affected sector, consider the following. The scheme is aimed at upscaling the medical infrastructure, especially targeting the rural area. So upscaling the medical infrastructure in the rural, and under the scheme bank would provide interest free loan. This is not given, and first is also not right. So the scheme is the COVID affected sector is the loan guarantee scheme. The scheme is aimed to boosting medical infrastructure in the specifically targeting the underserved area. Underserved, not the rural area, is targeting the underserved area. And the scheme was approved by the government, and it's a bank would provide a loan for the building healthcare infrastructure, non-metro city and smaller town, maximum in interest like 7.95%, and provide a guarantee 50% of the brownfield projects and 75% greenfield projects. 100 crore set up the urban and rural location, 8 metropolitan tier 1 cities. So it's for the aspirational district guarantee over the both brownfield and the greenfield, and the scheme is applicable to the all eligible loans section up to or till amount of 50,000 crore is section. So it's a become a path-breaking scheme as it can collaboration and it work in the conjunction with the ongoing intervention in healthcare sector. Next is consider the following. Gross domestic product measure the value of the goods and services produced by only a country citizen but both domestic and abroad. Only a country citizen but domestic and abroad, so it's not right. And when real GDP is adjusted for inflation, nominal GDP is obtained. So it's B is also not right. So real GDP is adjusted with the inflation, then when nominal GDP is adjusted with inflation, then real we will found. So the GDP measures value of the goods and service produced within the country border by the citizen, non-citizen alike. GDP provide economic snapshot used to estimate the size of economy. GDP key tool the guide policy maker, investor, business and strategic decision maker. And nominal growth is the real both quantify the total value of the goods products, and GDP adjusted for inflation is the nominal GDP isn't, hence the nominal GDP adjusted for the inflation, and real GDP is the almost always slightly lower than the equivalent to nominal, and in more real GDP is the show a more accurate picture of the country and performance, since it can be more easily compared to the past and deduce whether country really better, worse off or not. So now program of international student assessment PISA is OECD country. So the program for the international student assessment is the PISA, Worldwide Study of Organization Economic Cooperation, is member of non-member nation, intend to evaluate the education system, measure 15-year-old pupil scholars performance on the mathematics, science and reading. So it was the first performed the 2000 and the repeated every 3 year. Provides comparable data view to enabling to improve the education policy outcome. It measures the solving the cognition, and India PISA program is the its PISA will help to come out the learning loss that occurred due to the pandemic, and it will be lead to recognition acceptability Indian student and prepare them for the global economy. 5 minutes yoga protocol, Ministry of Ayush is given by the Ministry of Ayush to 5-minute protocol. People to advise yoga, promote idea break of 5 minutes from the work schedule and de-stress, defocus. It intend to introduce the people workforce to yoga, promotes the idea break of 5 minutes yoga. Now next one is the with reference to the coal sector. So India is the largest coal reserve. It's not wrong. India is the third largest producer. Second, electricity generation make up the 3/4 of the India's coal. So only C is right. So coal is the India's has been 1774 is mine word producing 716 million. India is the second largest producer, and India is the fourth largest coal reserves. So here is the fourth and here the second. Okay, and India has the fourth largest coal reserves and second largest producer. Coal deposit Odisha, Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, West Bengal and Telangana. And now coal-fired power accounts for 70% of India's electricity and generation, makes the 3/4 of coal consumption. With reference to the special drawing rights, so special drawing rights are the artificial currency instrument created by IMF. That's true. Pound sterling has the second highest weightage. It's wrong. So the special artificial currency is created at IMF. Value of the SDR is calculated from the weightage of basket major currency in the US dollar, euro and Japan, China yuan and British pound is the last one. So first is dollar, then euro, then Japan yen, then yuan, last is the pound sterling. So weightage of the basket major is the euro and yuan and Japanese yen, pound sterling. So SDR was formed with the vision to becoming a major element in international reserves, gold reserves and minor incremental components. It consists central bank gold and globally accepted foreign currency that could use to buy coal. Local foreign exchange maintain the stable exchange rate. Now next one is the gross value added show the production contribution of particular sector, and GDP of any nation represent the sum total of GVA in all the sector and economy during the said year. Okay, they both are true. So the GVA is the defined as the value of output less the value of the intermediate consumption used to measure the output contribution of the particular sector, and from all the sector added together, adding tax, reducing subsidies, we can get the GDP. And GVA is the production contribution of a particular sector, and when a value of the tax or products is added to the gross value added, sum of the gross value added all resident unit gives the value of gross domestic product, and gross domestic products of any nation represent sum total gross value added and economy during the said after adjusting the tax and subsidy. Now, next one is the resolution 2593 in the UN Security Council is combating terrorism in the Afghanistan. So, resolution is then 2593 adopted. The United Nations Security Council has reiterated the importance of combating terrorism, called the Taliban to facilitate safe passage of for people wanting Afghanistan, also humanitarian assist, uphold the human rights including women, children, inclusive and negotiable political settlement, and resolution supported the France, UK, US, and including the including the voting favor none against its but permanent veto wielding member Russia and China. So the resolution also states importance of the maintaining humanitarian access, upholding the human rights, inclusive political settlement, combating terrorism, and spell out the provision punish the Taliban if failed to allow the departure from the commitments. V-shaped economy, it's a economy recovery sharply and returns to the path. So it's a V-shaped recovery. Economy experience a sharp decline, but the bounce back to almost immediately to its precision. However, this can occur the economic interpretation. The cause of recession doesn't last long, so it could be a seasonal slowdown when consumers are temporarily out of work, but employers are holding those jobs. So, which of the following are the correct regarding the International Fund for the Agriculture Development? So, it's a solely of the rural economy, and it was established one of the major outcome of the World Food Conference. International Fund for the Agriculture Development International Financial Institution as a specialized agency UN that work to address the poverty and hunger in rural area, and it is a only multilateral development solely rural economy and full food security. Headquarters is Rome, Italy. So it's established as an international financial institution. So United Nations General Assembly and World Food Conference funds sponsored improve land, water, develop rural infrastructure, train and educate farmers in the efficient technology, build up resilient against climate change, enhancing the market stability. With reference to the purchasing manager index, so it's a measure prevailing direction of economic trends in manufacturing sector only. It's not true, and it says previous month is higher than the current month, so it's lower than the current month. So it's a represent that the economy is expanding, so it's not expanding. So PMI is purchasing manager index, and both the manufacturing and service sector is surveyed based measure ask the respondent about the change in their perception. So key business variable from the month before is calculated separately the manufacturing and the service sector, and it is derived from the series of qualities a question executive from the reasonably big sample running into the 100 firms ask the weather indicator as such output, new order, business expectation, employment is like what is there. The figure is 50 denotes expansions, and anything below 50 denotes contractions. So the rate of expansion can be the judged by the comparing the PMI with the previous month data, and figure higher previous month economy is expanding faster rate if a lower than previous month. So it's a PMI is usually released the start of month much before most of the official data, industrial output, manufacturing, GDP growth. It therefore considered a good leading indicator to economic activity. And economists consider the manufacturing growth measured by PMI indicator of industrial output, and which official statistics released. So central bank of many countries also use this index to decision. Which of the following statement correct regarding Financial Stability Development Council? So first is it apex body to coordinate the regulatory body in the financial sector. It is override the decision taken by independent regulator. That's not there. It had this PM of India. That's also not there. The Financial Stability Development Council is constituted by the Government of India. Composition of council is chairperson the Union Finance Minister of India, Governor of RBI, Finance Secretary, Secretary of Department of Finance, Ministry of Corporate Affairs, MIT, Ministry of Finance, SEBI, and IRDA, PFRDA, so Insolvency and Bankruptcy Board, coordinated among regulatory body in the financial sector but cannot override the decision taken by the independent regulator. So coordinating India's international interface and with financial sector bodies like the Financial Action Task Force, Financial Stability Boards, any such body. We decided the financial ministry from time to time promote the financial literacy, financial inclusion, and macro prudential supervision of economy, including the functionary of large financial conglomerate. Next is the objective of Shakti scheme to make the coal available thermal power plants country transparent and objective manner. So Shakti scheme is harnessing allocation of koila transparency policy approved by the intent better allocation of coal is a assurance of fuel supply agreements based on regime instead of into more transparent and competitive coal allocation policy. Which of the following protected area lies in the estuarine region of Brahmani and Betani river? It's a Bitar Kanika. So Bitar Kanika National Park located Kendrapara district of Odisha. It was designed obtained status of Ramsar. So Bhitarkanika is one of the location rich, lush, green, vibrant ecosystem lying in the estuarine region Brahmani Betani river. Second largest mangrove ecosystem of the India Sundarban. Park is home to the saltwater crocodile, Indian python, black ibis, wild boar, rhesus monkey, cheetal, darter, cobra, monitor lizards, olive ridley turtle, Gahir Mata and other nearby beaches, and Bhitarkanika is one of the largest population of endangered saltwater crocodile. Consider the following statement regarding the raptor species. So, raptor species help in increasing seed production, pest control. These are the indicators of species and they occupy top position in the food chain. So, the bird of prey, also known the raptor, include the species birds that primarily hunt the feed on the vegetable that's large relative to the hunter. So raptor prey on a wide range vertebrate and thus facilitate long distance dispersal, and this indirectly increase the production of pest control. Presence of raptor in the wild serves as a barometer for ecological health. Birds of the prey are predator at the top of food chain, and because threat, pesticide, habitat loss, climate change, most climatic impact on top predator, we refer to them indicator species. So researching the population trend of raptor provides a cost-effective, efficient mean to detecting the environment change. Conservation action driven by the latest scientific data. Raptor also play important ecological role by controlling population of rodent and the small mammal. Kasai River seen recently news tributary is Kasai is the Congo River. So the Kasai River is the tributary of the Congo River, Africa, and a river begins to central Angola, flow to the east until it reaches the border between Angola and Democratic Republic of Congo. So Kasai Basin is the equatorial rainforest area of agricultural land and noted the infertile sandy soil. With reference to the Hemis National Park, so it is the only national park in Himalaya, and it's famous for the snow leopards. Its largest contiguous protected area in India. It's not true. So Hemis National Park is the Ladakh, India, globally famous for the snow leopards and highest density protected area in the world. It's the only national park that North Himalaya largest notified protected area in the second largest contiguous protected area. So largest protected area but second largest contiguous protected area, Nanda Devi Biosphere Reserve and the surrounding protected area. So the park is home to the number of species endangered mammal including the snow leopards. Hemis is in India's protected area of Palearctic realm and Changtang Wildlife Hemis and proposed the Lamo Cold Deserts Conservation Area. The park is bounded by north by the bank of Indus River and the catchment of the Markha, Sumda and Rumbang and part of Janskar River. With reference to the PAT scheme, so PAT scheme, this scheme is launched under the National Mission for Green India. That's not true. It aimed to industrial sector of India energy efficiency. So PAT is the perform active trade scheme is regulatory instruction to reduce specific energy conservation in energy intensive industry with associated market based mechanism to enhance the cost effective through certificate of excess energy saving which can be traded. So scheme is being implemented Bureau of Energy Efficiency. PAT is launched under the National Mission for Enhanced Energy and one of the 8 mission umbrella National Action Plan on Climate Change. So first is the launch under National Mission of Green India. That's not true. Houthi is the Yemen. Houthi armed rebellion is the Jaidi Shia fighting against the movement of Yemen. Traditionally, the Houthi have concentrated the Sada province. With reference to IUCN Red List, it contains the list of the plants, animals, and species. And the pink peg IUCN Red List species were formerly endangered, but now recovered. So now here is both are not true. So it's contain list of endemic plant of it's contain critical indicator of health of world biodiversity. It contain the list of threatened plant, not the endangered plants. So wording is very important. It's a threatened plant, not the endemic plant. And threatened species of IUCN is the Grouping of three categories: critically endangered, vulnerable. Red book data is the red, pink, green. Red is symboling the danger and both the plant and animal experience throughout the globe. The pink page is the red book data, includes the critical endangered, and the green page for the species were formerly endangered but have now recovered to the a point where they are no longer threatened. So with reference to the Atal Pension Yojana, it is administered the Insurance Corporation of India. It's not true. 18 to 59 instead to 1,500 on obtaining the 60-year age. So that's true. So the Atal Pension Yojana launched to create a universal social security scheme. So the underprivileged and worker in the unorganized sector is the administered pension fund. Regulatory Development Authority is open to all bank account holders in the age of 80 to 40 contribution, and its successors receive the guaranteed pension minimum 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 and up to the 5,000 rupees. So it's admin life insurance company is not true. It's universal security for all. So it's a for the it's for the IFRDA. Okay, and the amount of pension guaranteed for the lifetime spouse death the subscriber and death of the both subscribers spouse, the entire pension corpus is paid to the nominee. So contribution Adult Pension Yojana is eligible for the tax benefits similar to the national pension system. With reference to the account aggregator of framework seen as the news. So an account aggregator provides the service of retrieving or collecting financial information, and license for account aggregator issued by the RBI. So according to the RBI, account aggregator is a non-banking financial company engaged the business provider under the contract and service retrieving, collecting financial information. It is also engaged in the consolidating, organizing, presenting such information to the customer and any financial information user. So it's created through the interregulatory decision and including the Security Exchange Board of India and PIFIRDA and the Financial Stability Development Country issue RBI and financial sector. So it's a indicated is wait long banks, so internet banking portal password to seek physical notarization to assess share their financial documents, and aggregator is a financial utility to secure flow of data. Pradhan Mantri Ji Van Yojana. So it's providing financial support to integrated bioethanol products. So Pradhan Mantri Vanji Yojana is for the bioethanol. So the Pradhan Mantri Jeevan G Indan Jaiv Indan Vitran and Anukul Fasal Avastha Nivaran. So aim to the support integrated bioethanol and lignocellulosic, so renewable feedbacks. So Center for High Technology Body Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas implemented established commonly viable 2G ethanol. Agricultural residue will be used for the remunerative income. Environment pollution will be reduced and meeting the target announces ethanol by blended petrol. And Indian government India Vision 10 reduction in the import dependence, create a rural urban employments and contribute to Swachh Bharat mission and aggregates non-food biofuel and indigenization of the second generation biomass to ethanol. Which of the following country forms a coastline with the Adriatic Sea? It's a Croatia. So the country coast Adriatic: Albania, Bosnia, Herzegovina, Croatia, Italy and Montenegro. The Adriatic contains 30,000 islands and doing Croatia part of the eastern coast. So recently Foreign Minister Croatia held the meeting and they are shared a lot of common position issue like the Indo-Pacific and Afghanistan combating terrorism. With reference to the financial emergency provision, consider the following. A proclamation declaring financial emergency must be approved by both House of Parliament within month from the date it's issued. So it's 2 months. Okay, and once approval both the House of Parliament, the financial emergency continue 6 months and can be extended to indefinite periods. So with the approval of Parliament for the every 6 months. So indefinite periods is not there. Okay, so the 360 empower the proclaim financial emergency, certify that the situation arising due to which the financial stability credit of India any part of its threatened. This proclamation declaring financial must be approved by the both House of Parliament 2 months, and once approved by the both the financial emergency continue indefinitely it's revoked. So not per 6 months is not given there. So the executive authority of the center extend the giving direction to any state to observe such a canon of financial propriety and specified direction such as other direction is the president may deem necessary to adequate purpose. Any such direction may include the provision requiring the reduction salary allowances and and performing the serving. So the reservation of all money bill and other financial bill for the consideration for the president. A president may issue direction for the reduction of salary allowances and class person saving unions. So judge of Supreme Court and High Courts they will also reduce their salary. So consider the following regarding the Common Service Center. It is the Ministry of Science No, and it's a access point for the various electronic service. So it's a mighty and village area various electronic service contributing to the digital financial inclusion, digital infrastructures, every city governance, digital empowerment and entrepreneurship, building the rural capacity and enabling community participation and collection action for the agenda social charge. Now, which of the following statements are correct regarding the dugong? So they are the herbivorous mammals. That's true. India only habitat of the dugong is Gulf of Mannar. That's not true. And they are critically endangered. That's not true. So dugong is called the sea cow and herbivorous mammal. They can be grown up to the meters long, where 300 kilometers or grazing is seagrass. So they are found in 30 countries: Mannar, Kutch, and Bay and Andaman Nicobar. Dugong listed IUCN threatened and vulnerable, and the loss of seagrass habitat and water pollution, degradation of coastal ecosystem, and development activities are the snow moving animals. So dugong are also victim of accidental entanglement, fishing nets, and collision. So trawlers. So internationally, dugong Appendix 1 Convention International Trade and sites prohibit the trade of species. Mandala buffalo is the Odisha. So Manda buffalo are resistant to the parasite infection, less prone to disease, and can reproduce a low or nil input system. So it's in Odisha. So small sturdy buffalo are used for the plaguing in their native habitat of Koraputs and Malkangiri and Nabanpur districts. It's a buffalo. This breed native tract most contributing to family nutritional and assisting the all agriculture operation. An average milk yield is 2 to 2.5 liter, and 8% of fats is there. Now Bogdoi River. Bogdoi River is the Brahmaputra. So the Bogdoi River is the tributary of Brahmaputra, origin of Naga Hill and Jorhat before the Dhansiri. So Bogdoi is the Assam. With reference to the initiative taken by the Government of India field of education sector, so Nipun Bharat is aimed to create an enabling environment for the students learning the grade 3 writing, numeracy, reading, and the Vidyanjali portal is the contribution development higher education. That's not true. So Vidyanjali portal is for the contribution for the school development. It will enable community volunteer contribution connecting directly with the government. Okay. And according to the Education Ministry, any person who is the citizen and India, NRI, PIO, any organization, company, group, and contribute service activity, asset, material, equipment such as basic civil infrastructure, basic electronics, classroom support, digital infrastructure, yoga, health, sports. And Nipun Bharat is the understanding of numeracy Bharat. It was launched to create enabling environment to ensure universal acquisition, foundation, literacy and numeracy, and desired learning and reading, writing and numeracy. So objective are to ensure the inclusive classroom environment, incorporating play, discovery and active-based pedagogy, and children and formal inclusion, enable children become motivated, independent and comprehensive possession sustainable reading, writing skill, understand the reasoning and number measurement shape, enable the become independent problem solving way of numeracy, and continuous capacity building of teacher, head teacher and academic resources, and teacher, parents, student or community building founder is there. Okay, next is the which of the following target and the sustainable development goal? So it's encourage the transnational company adopt sustainable and per capita environment impact city. This is reduced. It's not given. Reducing half the capita of food waste. That's given there. So 1 and 3 there. Sustainable goal are the responsible consumption and production is one of the goal. And there is the 12 implementing 10-year framework for the sustainable consumption and production, achieve the sustainable management, efficient use of the natural resources, reducing the half of the per capita food wastage, retail consumer level, reduction of food losses, production of supply chain including the post harvest losses, achieving the environment sound management, chemical and all wastes are throughout the life cycle, reducing the waste generation of prevention, reduction, recycling and reuse, encourage the company to adopt the sustainable practice, promote the public procurement practice, ensure that the people anywhere have the relevant information of awareness about sustainable development, support developing countries scientific technologically capacity of sustainable consumption and production, develop and implement tool for monitor sustainable tourism, and remove market distortion and encourage the wasteful consumption. So achieve target support developing country to strengthen scientific technological capacity, implement tool to monitor sustainable development and like fossil fuel subsidies and all that.